Hi. I'm just going to take your mock speaking test today, and your examiner for today is me. My name is Komal Patel, and can I start with it? Can you hear me properly? Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, fine. I'm just going to ask you, that we're going to do the full speaking. I'm going to start with the part one question. So a few questions I'm going to ask on your personal detail, and then I will continue doing the speaking. Okay? Can I please take your full name?
My name is Anne-Marie Jacob.
What is your study background?
I have done my graduation from National Institute of Fashion Technology and I majored in textile design.
What do you do now?
Right now, I'm working on freelance design projects online.
Did you study English when you were young?
Yes, it was a part of my subject in school.
Okay, fine. I'm going to ask you a few questions on the art. When you were a child, did you study art as a subject?
Yes, it was in fact one of my favorite subjects in school because it was fun to learn and I was able to hone my creative abilities, which is why I also chose to study design in my future, and I wish to take it as a future career.
What kind of art do you like more?
I'm really fond of print patterns, which are based on various themes and inspired by nature, like floral, botanical, and tropical prints, which you usually find on t-shirts or bed sheets.
All right. Have you ever visited art gallery or museum when you were young?
I've had the opportunity to visit two art galleries in India, National Gallery of Modern Art in Delhi and Art Binale in Kochi, and both of them had really beautiful pieces of art.
Okay. Do you think the art galleries are beneficial for children?
Yes, because kids learn everything from what they observe. So it is always a great idea to take them to the art gallery. And there, an exciting world of creativity and colors will be open for them. Also, they can gain a lot of knowledge about the artists and artwork.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a few questions on the laughter. Do you smile a lot?
Yes, I do. I smile a lot on a lot of things.
What makes you laugh?
All kinds of things ranging from silly conversations with friends or funny videos or movies which are loaded with jokes and sarcasm.
Okay. Would you laugh with your friends? If your friends are laughing at something, would you laugh with them, or you wouldn't laugh if you don't understand the joke?
Definitely, I would laugh with them all the time because even if usually we understand the joke if we are together because we share common interests and we can relate to the comedy in a similar manner. And even if we don't understand it, laughter is contagious. So we just laugh together, even if there's no reason to laugh.
All right. One more question. Do you think it's important for people to laugh nowadays?
Yes, obviously, because laughter is considered to be a medicine. And it is true because it is also proven that it can reduce stress, it strengthens human bond, and most importantly, it helps us to enjoy life.
Okay, nice. Okay, I'm finishing your part one questions here, and I'm going to move on to part two questions. I'm going to share the screen so you will be able to see your cue card, and I'll give you 1 minute to prepare. That you have to speak for 2 minutes. Can you see it properly?
Yes, I can.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. So when I joined design college, it was essential for me to learn a lot of softwares. And as I was researching about it, I was told by the faculties that I have to create a lot of artwork and do a lot of projects which were part of my curriculum, which is why I needed it. And as I was researching about it, I came across softwares such as CorelDRAW, Photoshop, and Illustrator. And my seniors told me that since Photoshop is widely popular, I should definitely buy it. So eventually I decided to purchase it from Adobe online store. Photoshop is essentially a program which has features like photo editing and graphics. And generally it is used by graphic artists, photographers, and professional designers. It enables users to manipulate any artwork or even crop, resize, and do color correction on them, and do innumerable amount of changes to their artwork, text, or video. So generally, since online content like videos and artwork is getting popular nowadays because of Instagram and all the online platforms which you can see, Photoshop is very widely popular. So since I had purchased it 4 years ago in my first semester, so it cost me about $2,000 on a monthly basis at that time. And I downloaded it, installed it on my laptop. And before going to class the next day, I thought that I should explore it a little and, see what are the tools and techniques, how to go about it. So when I opened the program, initially my thoughts were that it would be really easy because everybody was using it, was popular. But when I started using it, it was really confusing for me because the whole layout was completely new. And I had no idea how to go about it. It required a lot of patience to deal with it actually. At one point I was seeing so many tools and taskbars on screen. I was confused and felt kind of helpless. So the next day I did what any beginner would do. I just went to my faculties and asked them for some help. And they told me that in order to gain guidance, I should actually browse online. That is where I could get a lot of information related to the software. And a lot of students who were studying along with me were also confused. So all of us decided to go online and look up for information related to the subject matter. And when we browsed on YouTube, we could stream so much of rich content related to it. And from the next day onwards, we just consistently went on and searched for those videos. And with a lot of, practice, we could learn the software eventually.
Okay. Which feature did you find it interesting? That's something that you enjoyed a lot?
I think the feature of manipulation is really nice because you can just take any random picture and turn it into an artwork. So manipulation is one feature in Photoshop which allows you to just convert just any, for example, if there's a normal picture of a flower, you can turn it into a Picasso's artwork. So it just helps you transform anything into just any imaginable thing. It just depends on your imagination. There is no limit to it.
Okay, nice. Okay, I'm just going to move to the part 3 questions now. Right, these questions tend to be little bit longer, so just try and understand them properly. Okay, your first question is, do you feel that the increase in production of consumer goods affects the environment?
Yes, obviously, because nowadays there's a lot of demand for consumer goods, right, because of the increasing population. And that is the reason why more and more of natural resources are getting used up. There's a lot of pollution and exploitation of resources on every stage of production of the goods. So it affects the environment directly.
What are some effects of increased production on environment?
There's a very negative impact that can be seen on the environment because production means depletion of resources, which would directly mean scarcity. And also the manufacturing process causes a lot of noise, air and water pollution, which affects every single individual in the ecosystem.
All right, so you consider the human and species as well, right?
Yes, both of them.
Okay. What are the main causes of damage to our environment from your point of view?
I think it could be a lot of things, ranging from deforestation and exploitation of natural resources, and how human beings are littering water bodies and land, overfishing, overgrazing, and even irresponsible measures that are taken on behalf of companies and even individuals. Because if any step is taken towards earth which is taken irresponsibly, it will obviously have an indirect or direct impact in damaging it.
So do you think that the government should stand up and take some action, or individuals are responsible to take some actions as well?
I think both of them have equal responsibility. Government obviously has the duty to create and enforce laws which would protect the environment, but at the same time individuals have their own share of duty to abide by these rules. Both of these should go hand in hand.
And what about the company's role? What kind of activities or implementation that can be carried out by the commercial companies?
Companies are like the starting point of where all of this, like they are the ones who produce goods, they are the ones who are like the role model for other small scale industries and other individuals. Because if you take any big company's name, everybody knows them, everybody knows how it functions, so it becomes a role model for other people, which is why they should switch to sustainable practices and others will also follow them. Sustainable practices like switching to renewable sources of energy, sourcing their raw materials from local places rather than going to faraway places, and planning their whole manufacture process in such a way that there is as less wastage as possible. So this would help.
So from your point of view, we should focus more on economy or the environment?
I think it's a really confusing question because both of them are equally important. There is there is no benefit in having a really good working, well-functioning economy without having a good environment, and vice versa, because both of them are essential for human survival. Economy is necessary for everybody to stay happy and to avoid all the crimes and to have a really happy life for the general well-being of the citizens. Whereas for them to coexist and function properly and to have good natural resources for the economy itself, it is important to have a good environment. Both of them are interdependent also.
All right, that's fine. I think I'm just going to end your speaking here, and thank you very much for your time. We will try and get back to you sooner for the assessment. I'll try and email you the assessment. Okay?
Okay.